Hi, my name is G.M Elder. I'm an orthopedic surgeon here in Sault Ste. Marie and part-time writer. And I was invited to film this short video for Author Palooza 2021. And I'm here to talk about my two books that I published over the course of the pandemic. The first is A COVID Odyssey, which was released in June of 2020. And the follow-up is A Second Wave, released in November of 2020. And a common question I'm asked about these books: why did I write them? How did they come about? So in March of last year, that was the first lockdown, as I'm sure you remember. All surgeries were shut down, offices, clinics, for 10 weeks. And so I found myself with some time on my hands. I've been writing with a friend from New York for about 5 years prior to that, and we were on a bit of a pause as well. And so I was looking for ideas. My wife, Andrea, who's an executive coach, was off in Scotland at the time in March, and she was looking for a place to hold a retreat, and the borders closed, flights were canceled, she was stuck there. And so I started thinking, well, what would happen if she got sick? What could I do to help her, to save her? And so I transferred this whole idea down to Florida, because I knew the landscape a bit better, and I wanted to talk also, or write also, about the American pandemic landscape, what was going on the other side of the border, and A COVID Odyssey was born. I wrote the second novel over the course of about 3 months, maybe 4, leading up to publishing in November, and the purpose behind the books was largely educational in the beginning. I wanted to dispel notions, or dispel misinformation that was circulating about COVID, in as much as what we understood at that moment in time. And I wanted to make it, I wanted some escapism, I wanted some entertainment. Everybody was quite down in the dumps, and I thought, well, it'd be fun to write a book that's exciting and fun to read, and educate you at the same time. The third purpose in writing the books was to provide a snapshot in time of where we were scientifically. In March, it was the beginning. We knew next to nothing, and we were all scared. And then as time went on, we developed, or we understood more, and the second book picks up 8 months later with where our understanding was at that time and how people were reacting to the lockdowns, the stay-at-home, all of those kinds of things. Both books are self-published. It would have been impossible to traditionally publish in that short period of time. And that is a whole learning process unto itself. How do you get your books on Amazon or in bookstores? And, the whole process was very educational, and I like learning. And so the other thing I wanted to talk about was, what unexpected things came about as a result of writing these books, and the first was that both books are going to be featured in the pandemic collection in London at the Museum of Healthcare. And this came about in a sort of weird way of one interview leading to another, to eventually being put in contact with the organizer of the pandemic collection. And that too is a great learning experience. How do you give permission to a museum to use your books, but protect the content of your books, the intellectual property? And the other interesting thing, or weird thing, or unexpected thing, I guess, was a couple of weeks ago I got an email from a professor of English literature in Egypt who wanted to translate both books into Arabic. He had published, or was in the process of publishing, a paper written about my first book called Narrating Catastrophic Cosmology Episodes and Analytical Reading of G.M Elder's A COVID Odyssey, a fictional COVID-19 pandemic story. Quite a mouthful, 28 pages long analysis of my 60-page book. Unexpected, to say the least, and very, just as with the books being in the museum, somewhat humbling. So both books are available on Amazon in print and ebook format. They're available in Kohl's downtown, at the Station Mall, and you can have your self-published books in a traditional book setting. They're available at Shabby Motley, they're available at Stone's Office Supply, and of course they're available in our library. And I can't emphasize enough the need to support our library. Thanks very much for listening.